As a group of frogs were traveling through the woods, two of them fell into a deep pit. When the other frogs crowded around the pit and saw how deep it was, they told the two frogs that there was no hope left for them. However, the two frogs decided to ignore what the others were saying, and they proceeded to try and jump out of the pit. Despite their efforts, the group of frogs at the top of the pit were still saying that they should give up, that they should never make it out. Eventually, one of the frogs took heed to what the others were saying, and he gave up, falling down to his death. The other frog continued to jump as hard as he could. Again, the crowd of frogs yelled at him to stop the pain and just die. He jumped even harder and finally made it out. When he got out, the other frog said, "Did you not hear us?" The frog explained to them that he was partially deaf. He thought they were encouraging him the entire time when he was caught in the pit. The moral of the story is people's words can have a big effect on others' lives. Think about what you say before it comes out of your mouth. It might just be the difference between life and death. The tongue has the power of life and death. So we need to be very careful before we utter a word, because the tongue has the power of life and death. Hope you enjoyed the small story, girls. So let us be very, very careful before we speak. Shall we start with our lesson? We have started with banking, the 6th chapter, and we have already seen the history of banking, the commercial bank, the functions of commercial bank, and the role of commercial banks in economic development, and we have already seen the non-banking financial institutions. Today, let us go on to central bank. Hope you all have your textbooks. Please turn with me to page number 102 in your textbooks. Page number 102. So central bank. A central bank or a reserve bank or monetary authority is an institution that manages a state's currency. You can say a state's currency, or a state means here it is mentioned, the country is mentioned. The central bank, the reserve bank or monetary authority is an institution that manages a state's currency, money supply and interest rates. So it manages the currency, the money supply in the country, and also the interest rates. The Reserve Bank of India, also called as RBI, is India's central banking institution. It controls the monetary policy of the Indian rupee. So a central bank or reserve bank or monetary authority is an institution that manages a state's currency, money supply and interest rate. Central bank also usually oversee the commercial bank system of their respective country. So the Reserve Bank of India is the India central banking institution which controls the monetary policy of the Indian rupee. So here the history, the administration and function of the Reserve Bank of India is given. The history. The Reserve Bank of India was formed on 1st April 1935 in accordance with the RBI Act of 1934. So the Reserve Bank of India was formed on April 1st, 1935 in accordance with the RBI Act of 1934. And when India got its freedom in 1947, they decided to nationalize the Reserve Bank of India. So the Reserve Bank of India was nationalized on January 1st, 1949. Nationalized means it is fully owned by the government of India. Before independence, it was owned by the private people. That is, the shares were sold. The RBI shares were sold to the public, and the public also were having ownership of the RBI. But after independence in 1947, they nationalized the RBI on 1st January 1949. Nationalized means the Reserve Bank became the property of Government of India. It was fully owned by the Government of India. Headquarters was moved from Calcutta to Mumbai in 1937. So the headquarters of RBI was moved from Calcutta to Mumbai in 1937. Osborne Smith is the first governor of RBI. You may note all these in your textbook because they might be asked as 1-mark questions. Then administration. It is the central bank or the regulator of all banks in India. So the Reserve Bank of India is the banker to all the other banks. It is also called as the lender of the last resort. I will be explaining all these terms later on. It has a governor and 4 deputy governors along with the central board of directors appointed by the government of India. Then you have certain functions. It issues currencies. It is a banker to the government. That is, it collects receipts of funds and makes payment on the behalf of government. It is the regulator of the Indian banking system. It is the custodian of foreign exchange. Forex means foreign exchange, and RBI is the controller of credit. We will be seeing all this in detail. Before that, the process of issuing paper currency was started in the 18th century. The process of paper currency was started in the 18th century. Private banks such as the Bank of Bengal, the Bank of Bombay, and the Bank of Madras first printed the paper money. We have already seen that. Initially, there were only 3 banks which were called as the Presidency Bank. The Bank of Bengal, the Bank of Bombay, and the Bank of Madras. So these 3 banks were only printing the paper money. But later on, the RBI started printing the paper currency. The first rupee was introduced by Sher Shah Suri based on the ratio of 40 copper pieces or 40 paisa per rupee. So for 1 rupee, it was 40 copper pieces or copper paisa. That means 1 rupee was equivalent to 40 copper pieces. The name rupee was derived from the Sanskrit word raupia. So the word rupee was derived from the Sanskrit word raupia, meaning silver. So on each banknote, on each currency, you have 17 languages printed on it. Each banknote has its amount written in 17 languages. Suppose if it is 100 rupee, the word 100 will be written in 17 languages. English and Hindi on the front and 15 other languages at the back. This is to illustrate that there is diversity of the country. It is illustrating the diversity of the country. So each rupee note has the amount written in 17 languages. English and Hindi on the front and 15 other languages on the back, illustrating the diversity of the country. So with this I will stop, and next I will continue with the functions of the central bank.